Welcome to the deep dive. It is fantastic to have you with us today as we slice through the most crucial current affairs, specifically tailored for you, the UPSC aspirant.
Exactly.
Think of this as your essential shortcut to being truly well-informed, packed with those aha moments that make everything click.
And today, we're diving deep into the key developments from July 14th, 2025. This is part one. And some of these topics might even be revisions of concepts we've touched on before.
Good point. Reinforces their importance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But all of them are vital for you to build that comprehensive knowledge base.
Absolutely. We've got a fantastic spread for you today, covering, well, everything from India's evolving financial landscape, significant environmental updates,
Defense news, too.
critical defense news, international relations, and even some breakthroughs in health and technology. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's kick things off by exploring India's financial framework, specifically the International Financial Services Centers Authority, or IFSCA. It seems to be steadily growing in its global prominence.
Indeed. And the latest news really making waves is that CTBC Bank, that's Taiwan's largest privately owned bank, has applied to set up an IFSC banking unit, an IBU, right there in Gift City.
Okay, CTPC, so that's significant.
It really is. This isn't just another foreign bank setting up shop. It's a real validation, you could say, of India's ambitious vision to establish Gift City as a truly global financial hub.
Right.
This move could potentially, reshape the regional financial landscape, attracting capital and expertise that might otherwise head to places like Singapore or Dubai.
That's a strong signal then. So how is the IFSCA actually structured to achieve this unified regulatory goal? Does its composition reflect that ambition?
It absolutely does. Look, the IFSCA is a statutory authority set up under the IFSCA Act of 2019. Its main objective, its core job, is to be a unified authority.
It's unified, okay.
Meaning it consolidates all the regulatory aspects for developing and regulating financial products, services, institutions, everything within India's International Financial Services Center.
Think of it like a single window.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Simpler than before? Oh, much simpler. Before IFSCA, you had various domestic regulators involved, RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, RDAI, all regulating different bits of IFSC business. It could get cumbersome. IFSCA streamlines all that.
And its structure. The members.
Right. It has this unique 9-member composition. You've got a chairperson, then representatives from RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, 2 from the Ministry of Finance, plus 2 experts, all appointed by the central government.
A real mix of expertise then.
Exactly. And that blend is designed precisely to foster strong international connections, cater to India's economic needs, and serve as a regional international financial platform. And yes, its headquarters are right where you'd expect, Gift City, Gandhinagar in Gujarat. India's first IFSC.
Got it. So, connecting this for our listeners, the growth of IFSCA is key to understanding India's push for global financial integration, right? Attracting that foreign investment.
Precisely. It's a cornerstone of that strategy.
Okay. Having explored India's financial ambitions, let's now turn our gaze inward, maybe, to some vital environmental challenges. These really underscore the foundation of sustainable development within the country.
And first up, our attention is drawn to the Pong Lake Wildlife Sanctuary. There's some concerning news. We're seeing a clear violation of sanctuary norms.
What kind of violation?
Hundreds of buffaloes have been spotted grazing freely deep inside restricted areas near the Pong wetland. Places like Samkarhar, Bathu, Panalath.
Buffaloes just wandering in.
Exactly. And this unregulated grazing, well, it poses a serious ecological threat to this very delicate wetland ecosystem. It's almost a classic case of human-wildlife conflict or interaction. Gone a bit sideways, isn't it?
Yeah, you can imagine the challenge. So beyond the immediate issue, what's the bigger picture here? What are the systemic issues maybe that lead to this in protected areas?
Yeah.
Especially a place like Pong Lake.
That's the core question, really. Pong Dam Lake, which is also known as Maharana Pratap Sagar, is this massive man-made reservoir formed by the Pong Dam on the Beas River up in the Shivalik hills of Himachal Pradesh.
Right.
Built back in '75, and it's actually India's highest earth-filled dam. It's also one of northern India's largest man-made wetlands, huge area, and crucially a Ramsar site since 2002.
Ramsar site, so internationally important.
Absolutely. Recognizing its importance for biodiversity. It's got diverse flora, submerged plants, eucalyptus, acacia, and it's a haven for birds, over 220 species. Especially waterfowl, like bar-headed geese, because it's on the Trans-Himalayan Flyway.
Wow.
But the challenge, as you hinted, is balancing local livelihoods, like grazing, with strict conservation. It often boils down to needing better community engagement, maybe stricter enforcement, to prevent these kinds of incursions.
A perennial issue. Okay, moving to another lake, but with a different sort of environmental concern, Bhadrakali Lake.
That's right, down in Telangana. Activists there are urging the state government to reconsider plans for some island development within Bhadrakali Lake. The big concern is significant lake shrinkage.
Lake shrinkage and development plans sound like a classic conflict.
It really spotlights that ongoing tension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between urban development and environmental preservation, especially when you've got historical sites potentially involved.
Tell us about Bhadrakali Lake. Does it have a rich history?
It certainly does. Bhadrakali Lake is an artificial lake in Warangal. Not huge, about 32 acres. It's believed to have been built way back in the 12th century by Ganapati Deva of the Kakatiya dynasty.
12th century.
Yeah, initially for drinking water. But the main highlight, and a key point in this current issue, is the ancient Bhadrakali Temple. It dates back to 625 AD, Chalukyan reign, and it's located right on one of the lake's islands.
A temple on an island in the lake? Wow.
Exactly. So these incidents, Pong Dam and Bhadrakali, they might seem separate, but together they really underscore this profound dilemma India faces. How do you reconcile the urgent demands of rapid urbanization and development with the absolute need to preserve our fragile ecosystems and historical legacies? It's a national balancing act we're constantly grappling with.
A really crucial point. Okay, let's shift gears now to defense and national security. The Akash Missile System, for instance, showcases India's indigenous capabilities, often aimed at deterring external threats. But as you know, national security isn't just about borders. It's also about internal stability and safety. We'll touch on a key operation for that soon. First, though, some news about Akash that's maybe a bit of a setback.
Unfortunately, yes. There are reports that Brazil has skirted negotiations to acquire the Akash Missile System.
Halted. Okay, why is that significant?
Well, this incident isn't just about a lost sale, though that matters for defense exports. It's perhaps a critical lesson for India's growing defense industry. It highlights that success in the global defense market needs more than just advanced tech.
Like what?
Competitive pricing, for one, aggressive after-sales support, and frankly, very adept geopolitical maneuvering. It's a highly competitive landscape out there.
Right. So, given Akash's capabilities, which seem impressive, what factors do you think might have led Brazil to pause? Is it just commercial or maybe deeper geopolitical stuff? And maybe, for our listeners, just recap the Akash missile system itself. What makes it key?
It's likely a mix of things. Commercial factors like cost, delivery timelines, maybe technology transfer issues, and yes, potentially shifting geopolitical alignments could play a role too. The Akash itself, it's an indigenously designed and developed short-range surface-to-air missile system, a SAM system.
Developed by DRDO.
Yes, by DRDO and produced by Fraud Dynamics Limited, BDL. Its purpose is straightforward: protect vulnerable areas from air attacks. What makes it stand out is its propulsion solid fuel ramjet.
Ramjet, right. That means speed.
Yeah, exactly. Blistering speeds, Mach 2.5 to 3.5. That makes it incredibly agile. Very hard for enemy aircraft to evade within its, say, 4.5 to 25-kilometer operational range. It can hit targets up to 18 kilometers high.
And its accuracy.
Very high kill probability. Up to 88% for a single shot, 99% if fired in a salvo, like 2 missiles at one target. That's not just a number. It's down to its advanced Rajendra phased array radar. That's what guides it precisely.
Multi-target capable, too.
Yes, multi-target engagement, electronic countermeasures, quick response time, mobile. It's a very capable system, crucial for layered air defense.
Sounds like a truly robust system indeed. Okay, now let's pivot to that other crucial security operation, the one focused internally. Here's where it gets really interesting regarding the Indian Army's recent efforts for public safety.
Right, we're talking about Operation Shiva. This was recently launched by the Indian Army. It's part of a multi-peer security setup specifically to secure the ongoing Amarnath Yatra.
The Amarnath Yatra, the annual pilgrimage.
Exactly. The annual Hindu pilgrimage to the sacred Amarnath cave in Jammu and Kashmir. Very high altitude, remember, around 3,888 meters. Famous for the naturally formed ice shivling.
Given the challenges, the terrain, the security situation, what's the scale and specific purpose of Operation Shiva? It sounds like a massive undertaking.
It truly is. Operation Shiva's main objective is the smooth and critically secure conduct of this pilgrimage. It involves really close coordination with the civil administration and the Central Armed Police Forces, the CAPFs.
So a joint effort.
Absolutely. The deployment is huge. Over 8,500 troops are involved. And they're supported by advanced tech resources. Think a dynamic counterterrorism grid along both the northern and southern Yatra routes.
And dealing with specific threats. Like drones.
Yes, especially drones. There's a robust counter-unmanned aerial system grid, a CUAS grid, with over 50 systems, plus electronic warfare or EW systems, basically using the electromagnetic spectrum against enemy tech, UAVs for live monitoring too.
And medical support, that must be vital at that altitude.
Hugely important. Over 150 doctors, advanced medical posts, even a 100-bed hospital setup, ample oxygen supply. It's comprehensive assistance to the civil authorities, especially for disaster management and emergency response, all maintained with constant situational awareness, live tracking of convoys, drone feeds, high-res cameras. It's particularly critical this year, given the heightened threats from Pakistan-backed proxies, especially after Operation Sindoor.
A massive, complex, and vital operation then. Okay, from national security at home, let's pivot again, this time to international dynamics. So what does all this mean for global relations, especially with recent developments involving a major economic grouping?
Well, we've seen news about U.S. President Donald Trump's recent threat. Another one to impose 10% tariffs on members of the BRICS grouping.
Another threat.
Yes, it's the latest in a series of similar threats. It really highlights the ongoing trade tensions, the geopolitical friction that's shaping international relations, and maybe specifically the pushback against these emerging economic blocs like BRICS.
Speaking of BRICS, it's been making headlines with its recent expansion. Can you just walk us through that? Who are the new members, and what does this expansion signify for the group's global footprint?
Absolutely. So, BRICS, the acronym, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The term BRIC was actually coined back in 2001 by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill, initially without South Africa.
Right, they joined later.
Exactly. Informal meetings started around 2006. South Africa officially joined in 2010. Its core objectives, well, strengthening economic, political, social cooperation among members, but crucially, also increasing the influence of Global South countries in international governance.
Reforming global institutions.
That's a big part of it, aiming to improve the legitimacy, the equity and participation, and the efficiency of bodies like the UN, IMF, World Bank, WTO, promoting sustainable development too.
And the expansion. Who's in now?
Right, the big news. It recently expanded to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and Indonesia.
Wow, that's quite a group.
It is. With this expansion, the group now encompasses about 3.5 billion people. That's roughly 45% of the world's inhabitants. And their combined economies are worth over $28.5 trillion, about 28% of the global economy.
That's a significant block.
It absolutely signifies a clear ambition to reshape global power dynamics, challenge established economic orders, perhaps move towards a more multipolar world. And a key part of BRICS, we should mention, is the New Development Bank, the NDB, established in 2014.
What's its role?
Its purpose is to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects, specifically in emerging markets and developing countries. It's headquartered in Shanghai. Membership is open to UN members.
How does the voting work? Is it like the IMF or World Bank?
That's a key difference. While voting power is linked to subscribed shares, the BRICS nations collectively retain at least 55% voting power, and crucially, no single country has veto power.
Interesting. So it reinforces their collective voice.
Exactly. It aims to democratize development finance. What's really fascinating here is watching how BRICS is evolving, actively trying to reshape global governance and economic power dynamics.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, from global economics, let's turn our attention now to some scientific and technological developments, and even a health update.
Yes, starting with a rather sobering health update, actually. A resident of North Arizona in the USA recently died from pneumonic plague.
Pneumonic plague? That sounds serious.
It is, and it's significant because it marks the first death from plague in that specific region in 18 years. It's a stark reminder, really, that some historical threats, even diseases we associate with the Middle Ages, are never truly completely eradicated.
Indeed. Can you tell us a bit more about the plague itself?
Sure. Plague is an infectious disease. It's caused by a bacterium, a zoonotic one called Yersinia pestis. Zoonotic means it jumps from animals to humans.
How does it spread, usually?
Commonly, it spreads through bites from infected fleas that have previously bitten an infected animal, like a rodent. Historically, of course, it's infamous. The Black Death in Europe during the Middle Ages killed millions.
And it's still around today.
It is, yes. It's rare now, thankfully, but it persists in some rural areas. Parts of the western U.S., parts of Africa, and Asia. There are three main types.
3 types?
Yes. Bubonic plague, which affect the lymph nodes, you get those buboes or swellings. Septicemic plague, where the bacteria gets into the blood. And pneumonic plague, which affects the lungs.
And the one in Arizona was pneumonic.
Yes. And pneumonic plague is generally considered the most serious form. It's usually rarer and can actually spread from person to person through droplets or develop from untreated bubonic or septicemic plague.
How dangerous is it?
Very. The case fatality rate for untreated bubonic plague is around 30–60%. For pneumonic plague, if left untreated, it's considered always fatal.
Always fatal. That's terrifying.
It is. But here's the crucial part. It can be cured with prompt antibiotic treatment. That's why early diagnosis and treatment are absolutely vital.
That's very important to know. Okay, moving from a disease to a technology that's often debated, cloud seeding.
Yes, cloud seeding. Concerns have sort of run rampant recently, especially after those disastrous floods in Texas. It's brought the whole discussion around this technology back into the spotlight.
It's such an intriguing idea, trying to make it rain, but what are the main debates or controversies around actually using it, especially when things like floods happen?
Well, that's where it gets really complicated. So cloud seeding, fundamentally, is the deliberate introduction of substances into clouds. The idea is to make them act as condensation or ice nuclei, basically giving water vapor something to condense onto to trigger precipitation.
How long has this been around?
The first proper experiments were conducted way back in 1946 by Vincent J. Schaefer. You can do it different ways from aircraft using rockets or cannons, even from ground generators.
What substances do they use?
The most common ones are solid carbon dioxide, that's dry ice and silver iodide. Those work best for supercooled clouds, clouds below freezing, helping form ice crystals. For warmer clouds above freezing, they might use things like calcium chloride to provide those nuclei for raindrops.
Okay, so the controversies.
Right. The main debates really revolve around two things. First, its effectiveness. Is it actually causing significant extra rainfall, or would it have rained anyway? It's hard to prove definitively. Second, unintended consequences. Could seeding clouds in one area lead to unexpected downpours like maybe speculated in Texas? Or could it even steal rain, causing drought in areas downwind?
Ah, the downwind effect.
Exactly. So events like the Texas floods, whether directly linked or not, they reignite these public concerns and debates. Are we really controlling nature, or are we just interfering with incredibly complex weather systems with results we can't fully predict?
A lot to consider there. Finally, let's talk about a specific species facing some challenges. The blackbuck.
Indeed. Sad news here. Wildlife officials have admitted that the population of blackbucks has declined sharply over the years. This is specifically in the Abohar Wildlife Sanctuary in Punjab.
A sharp decline? That's worrying for such an iconic animal.
It is very concerning. It highlights the ongoing pressures on India's wildlife habitats, even for species that might seem relatively common in some areas.
The blackbuck is so distinctive. Can you remind us about its features and its conservation status?
Absolutely. The blackbuck, scientific name Antelope cervicapra, is this beautiful antelope native to India and Nepal. You find it quite widespread: Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, several states.
And it's a state animal too, right?
Yes, state animal of Punjab, Haryana, and Andhra Pradesh. So culturally significant too. They prefer open grasslands, dry scrub areas, thinly forested places.
What makes them distinctive visually?
The males are really striking. They have this dark brown or black fur, contrasting with white on the chest, belly, muzzle, chin, and those characteristic white eye rings. Plus, the males have those long, ringed horns. They can be up to 28 inches long. Females are smaller, lighter brown, and usually lack horns, though some might have small ones.
And they're fast.
Incredibly fast. Excellent eyesight and speed are their main defenses against predators. Now, conservation status. This is interesting. On the IUCN RID list, it's classified as least concern.
Least concern, but the population is declining sharply in places.
Exactly. That shows the complexity. While maybe not globally threatened to the point of being endangered yet, it holds a very high level of protection within India. It's listed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. That's the highest level of protection. It's also in CITES Appendix 3.
Schedule 1, so legally very protected.
Highly protected. And the Abohar Wildlife Sanctuary, where this decline is noted, is unique. Its entire area is actually private or community-owned land, belonging to 13 Bishnoi villages.
Private land sanctuary.
Yes, which adds another layer of complexity to conservation. The decline there really underscores that even legally protected species face serious threats from things like habitat degradation, human encroachment, poaching sometimes, and the specific challenges of managing wildlife on private or community lands.
A lot of interconnected factors. Well, that brings us to the end of today's Deep Dive. We've journeyed through crucial updates, Finance, environment, security, IR, health, tech, all vital, we hope, for your UPSC preparation.
We certainly hope this deep dive has helped you connect the dots between these diverse topics and maybe reinforced how they all contribute to that well-rounded understanding you need. Here's something to think about. How do these seemingly disparate current events, from the micro level like a single species decline in Abahar to the macro level like global financial structures with IFSCA or international alliances like BRICS, how are they all interconnected facets of the larger story? The story of India's development, its challenges, its place in the world. How does understanding these individual threads help you weave a more comprehensive analytical narrative for your studies?
That's a fantastic thought to leave you all with. Keep exploring, keep learning, and definitely keep connecting that knowledge. If you found this deep dive valuable, please do make sure to like it and subscribe. That way, you won't miss our future explorations into important current affairs. Until next time, stay curious and well-informed.